At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Ja.
And I am Anthony Sie, and welcome to yet another edition of the Hour of Politics. You heard it there. Focus on Liberia, where we are about educating, elevating, and promoting all things our dear country, Liberia. Folks, welcome. Of course, the Hour of Politics is about politics, people. And I have a topic for you that is highly, very, very highly political. And I know you would rather have me to be the one to bring this topic to you. I think some of you are getting to like the analysis a little bit. And that is the business we are in here at Focus on Liberia, breaking things down for people to understand, given that we are in this privileged position to get some information that are relevant, to the national discourse. And so welcome, do me that favor, hit that share button, share the broadcast with somebody in your contact. For that thing, I can assure you this is a discussion that will be meaningful for understanding where we go from here when we are talking about elections 2023. If you are on, the other side, some people might be happy today, but I think everybody should be happy. Knowing the truth is the right thing, because my Bible tells me the truth will set us free. But what is the truth actually? For some people, the truth is that which they want to hear, and not what actually they need to hear. And so welcome. The topic for today is Joseph Boakai actually running for president? What kind of question is that, Anthony? JMB from the biggest political party, the Unity Party, a party we know has structure, a party that held to power for 12 years, that has some accomplishment to its name, the party that is endowed with educated people, that has the experience of providing governance in our country, of running a country, and you think that guy, the guy with the name recognition, after he has made it known that he will be a candidate, and you are asking that question whether or not he's running for president, are you actually serious, Anthony? Is this the best you can do? I know this is why others are thinking. Now, my question does not suggest, I'm telling you, he is not running for president. But what I want us to understand is he actually running for president? Does he want to run for president? Is he well positioned to run for president? Is anything in place to make a presidential run? Is he even putting things in place to run for president? Does he have all of the things at this time? If not, does he have anything in place at this time, 10 months into the political game? AC. So those are the things that will tell us if he is actually running for president. So one can say, I'm running for president. It's just an announcement. It's just a pronouncement. There are things you must do to show that you are running for president. That is not only with Joseph Boakai, it is more so with the other candidates. Are they actually running for president? But today we are on Joseph Boakai former vice president of the Republic of Liberia, is he running to be president for our nation, Liberia? So we are not going to answer the question for you. We are going to report to you and provide analysis what we know so far. And based on what we know so far and the analysis about those things, you will now make your own decision whether or not Mr. Boakai is running to be president of Liberia on a serious note. You will also know whether Mr. Boakai is not yet ready. You will also know whether Mr. Boakai has put anything in place to suggest that he's running for president. You will also know that Mr. Boakai has only made it known that he's running for president, and that is the only thing that he's done so far, and he has not gone any step further into concretizing the decision that he's made that he will be a candidate in the election of 2023. This year, 10 months from now, you will also know. That is the goal of this analysis. And so, folks, without much I say and do, let us get to the analysis right now.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jah.
And I'm Alison CA, and let us get to the discussion right away. I want to be as brief as possible, but I will intersperse this thing with the politics of the day. So we have what is more like a breaking news. Leymah Gbowee won the Nobel Peace Prize along with former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and also another lady, I believe she's from India, if I'm not mistaken. The three together netted the Nobel Peace Prize. So Leymah Gbowee has earned herself a space not only in the Liberian community but in the whole world community. And so she is someone who earned herself some respect. So whatever she says is left with others to dismiss it, to not take her serious, but she is an important figure in our country, Liberia. And I believe we should be able to respect our heroes. We should be able to respect some personality in our nation who have made name for themselves that reflect on us as a people. And so Leymah Gbowee today penned a brief letter, and that letter she has addressed it to officials of the now opposition Unity Party. And there is where I am going to start. Leymah writes today and said, "Dear Unity Party officials, including my auntie Deba, in the interests of peace, development, and the future of Liberia, I would like to ask you all to kindly allow Uncle Joe Boakai to retire from politics and focus on his health. He deserves to spend his golden years interacting with his grandkids and enjoying family time. I would also like to take this time to ask you all to reconsider your partnership with other political parties and form a merger that will provide a viable political option for the Liberian people." Leymah continues, "The writings are on the wall. My Uncle Joe is in no position to contest. Uncle Joe, please be well. I pray God's blessing upon you." She continues, "Dear Unity Party, Liberia's political future and interest lied and rest squarely in your hands. It is high time we put egos aside and put Liberia and her interests first. And she ends, do the right thing best. Leymah Gbowee, 2011 Nobel Peace Prize winner. Folks, that is Leymah Gbowee writing a letter to Unity Party and referencing her auntie and also referencing her uncle, referring to Joseph Boakai, the former president of Liberia, as her uncle, and calling on Uncle Joe, her auntie Deba, and officials of Unity Party to do the right thing. And she's clear in her letter. The right thing is to have Uncle Joe retire. Her reason, because Uncle Joe is not well. And that Uncle Joe is in no position to run for president. And that it is about time that he retires and spend the rest of his life interacting with his grandkids. Wow. Leymah Gbowee. She knows a lot. She occupies a space in our country. She hears everything. I believe she is saying this now, and it's more like what brought her to this point of putting pen to paper to put her words in writing so that we can quote her. It's more so because of what she knew all along and now being clamorous with the hospitalization of Uncle Joe. It's Uncle Joe running to be president of our dear country, Liberia. We will come to Leymah's letter. I have questions for Leymah. I will come to that. I don't want to make my presentation about what Leymah has to say. As a person who has decided to follow the politics of our country, because I understand the power of politics, what politics can do, how it can ruin the future of a country, I have the firm belief that though Liberia will not be developed only because of politics, but Liberia can be held stagnated more so because of politics or only so because of politics. And that is the peril of it all. So let us look at the politics for what it is. Of the individuals that are running to be president, Joshua, Boakai, Cummings, Tiawon Gonglo, these are the only 4 persons we know for sure have exhibited some, consistent announcement that they will run. So let's look at these 4 individuals. Joseph Boakai has a very impressive name recognition, and so he can become president if the Liberian people decide to vote for him. Just as Wiatu can get re-elected. And if anything is to happen out of the ordinary, maybe Cummings, maybe Tiawon, I'm not sure. And so we have to pay attention and do due diligence to the decision the Liberian people had to make in 2023, this year, that 10 months from now. So is Joseph Boakai running for president? How do we know when one is running for president because one says so? That is not enough. It is not enough when one says I'm running for president. Many have said they are running for president and they will decide to just abolish their ambition for many reasons. Now here is Uncle Joe, who has been running for president now. What has he put into place? And to you who are listening today, we'll give you the opportunity to call. Whether Leymah has a point, we want to hear from you. Whether JMB has demonstrated if he's actually running for president, I will also want to hear from you. But let me tell you what we know. When one is running for president, there are a few things per person have in place. One is, number one, money. Does Uncle Joe have money? Even though the money will not win the election, but you need the money to run an election or to run for office, you need money. You have to register. You have to have poll watchers. In Liberia now, this thing about t-shirts printing. In America, the people that started democracy that we're following now, and in other places, they don't do t-shirt printing, but it has become a political culture in Liberia now. You have to print t-shirts. Even welcoming a political actor from the airport, you have to print t-shirts. That costs money. Does he have money to print all the t-shirts that they think can do the magic for them? Now you have people who have to work for your campaign. They have to be transported from one hamlet or village to the other, from one county to the other. The candidate themselves have to move from one county to the other. That will require money, gasoline, cars, and you name it. And if you are to talk about even collaboration, you need money to get those people working. So many things for which you need money. Does Uncle Joe have money? We know for a fact Uncle Joe does not have money, and that is an established truth that we know. Everyone knows this. Even his chief of staff knows this. Even his speech writer knows this. Even his party chairman knows this. Even his top surrogates, they all know Uncle Joe has a problem when it comes to money. Uncle Joe himself knows. Uncle Joe himself has said it, that he does not have money, but he has people. So money is Uncle Joe's problem. Is he running? Will he be able to run a campaign with our money? Number two, when one is running for president, we see some things that they do. One must put in place a team. Does Uncle Joe have a team right now? Uncle Joe does not have a team. Sometimes when the politicians are starting, well, we are trying to put our exploratory team into place. He doesn't have any team right now that is exploring, that is planning. He does not have anything in place, and that is an established fact. Now, I'm not saying this is significant. If you look on the side of the CDC party constituted George Weah re-election team. They even have the diaspora arm. It has its structures into place. They have this person for secretary, this person for speaker, this person for chairman, and all of that, they've done that. So they have that in place. We might dismiss it, or we might want to dismiss it. That is up to us. But they have a structure that they've put in place. Whether it's effective now or whether it will get effective at some point in the future, that is another thing we can talk about another day. But they have that in place. Again, an indication that they are serious and doing some things about re-electing President Weah. On the Cummings side, they have similar thing, and they call it Team Cummings. I know it is in peril now. A 70,000 noise has choked that. I don't know how they're going to resuscitate that and get over that, but they have that in place. And Cummings is sticking with his Team Cummings. And he's like, if you don't like it, go and hug the transformer, and it's up to you. But he has his Team Cummings in place. Does Uncle Joe have a team? No. Now, you can't tell me, well, Uncle Joe does not have a team, but he has a party. Well, CDC has a party. Well, ANC has a party. In fact, on Cummings' side, he has a so-called coalition called CPP that is a piece of one party and the whole of another party. So Joseph Boakai has a party. The other guys, they have parties. Now, if you look on Tier 1 side, I've not seen Team Tier 1 yet, but even though they say Team Tier 1, but we don't know who the leaders are. But I'm sure they have Gonglo Diaspora and all of these things in place. I know the Unity Party has Unity Party USA, but CDC has USA. And the CPP now, we heard about the CPP USA. They have that. So, but Uncle Joe does not have a team in place yet. We have Team Cummings, we have the team for we are re-election. Where is Unity Party's team that is to propel Boakai? We don't have that. So he doesn't have money, he doesn't have a team yet. Now, the biggest question that none of them in the opposition has been able to answer, that George Weah has answered significantly in a very profound way, is the issue of vice president. Maybe for Weah it was easier, you might think that way, But it was not as easy as you think, because from the very get-go, when we got elected, everything fell flat between we and Joel Howard Taylor. She became a flower girl. She cried. She was crying like a baby. They were calling her to meeting in the night. She was not getting her allotment as vice president of Liberia. She was crying. Her cars were all broken down. She didn't have money to. It was a terrible, bitter, and sour relationship. Joel Howard Taylor cried for about 2 years. She was like a bandit. She complained that she was being insulted. She was being disrespected by citizens. The relationship was so bad that people have feared that Joel Howard Taylor would have resigned her position as vice president and probably go and hug the opposition for some little happy moment. That did not happen. Howbeit, CDC, president we are, and they said that, well, minus Joel, who do we have? Where can we go? I'm saying to you, despite all of the fights and disagreements and acrimony that was within their ranks and file, the CDC came to its senses and it was able to cement things with Joel Howard Taylor. Today, I can say that the CDC that is celebrating her 60th birth anniversary at the what? The ministerial complex, a gigantic picture of her mounted on the wall. She's being celebrated like the Queen of England. Joel Howard Taylor budgets had gone all the way to $3 million United States dollars as vice president of the Republic of Liberia. She is now seen with Joshua almost everywhere and speaking. Even when Joshua is speaking, she's nodding. They have cemented their relationship. The decision as to who to be Joshua vice president is done. We're done. Joe Boakai is more experienced than we are. We are made to believe. And that is true, given his years in politics. Some people believe George Boakai is a wise old man. This is the wise old man. And he is well advanced in age. The fact is that he cannot stand the vigor required for his robust campaign. He does not have it. So then, if he does not have it, who does he have as an able lieutenant to cover that space? He put all of the ingredients that he wants in a vice president. He set those things into motion. He communicated them to us. That's the reason it's taking him too long. The point I'm making with this is, if Uncle Joe, former vice president Joseph Boakai, is actually running for president, the question of who becomes a vice president to him, it should be something he should have answered by now. At least 10 months to election, he should have answered that question. Because 10 months to election the last time, he couldn't answer that question. He could not, and he's yet to answer that question. I know many of you want to hear the issue of the health, and I'll come to it. It is a legitimate discussion we have to have. Liberia economically is sick. Liberia politically is sick. Liberia socially is actually sick. Liberia educationally is actually sick. When it comes to infrastructural development, Liberia is sick. Even when it comes to basic social services, Liberia is a sick country, and we have to understand that. So we do not need a sick president, for we are a sick country. Either way you look at it. Or you want to know how we are a sick country? Look at your hospitals. Do we have health care in our country put into play by our government? Do we have that? No. We don't even have health care provided. We don't even have that provided for folks who are even working in government. We don't even have that, folks. And the hospitals that we have, built by government, funded by government, are poorly equipped, poorly funded, understaffed, or poorly staffed. In fact, I can go further by saying, if not 90 or 95% are completely deaf camps, they are of no help. You can't go there to seek care. If that were the case, Mobutu would not have been flown to Ghana. If that were the case, the very vice president, Joel Howard Taylor, we're talking about, they would not have taken her out of Liberia. So, folks, If that were the case, despite the military hospital, despite the Redemption Hospital, despite JFK, and despite the Emory Hospital, and any other hospital that you know of, Samuel 12 will have remained in Liberia to be provided care. So even our leaders know that we do not have health care, that the country is sick. So when they are sick, they don't go to a sick place. They go to a place where they can get cured. So let me progress here quickly. Joseph Nyuma Boakai, if he's running for president, he should be proactive, he should be upfront, he should be decisive, and answer the question as to who will be his vice president, and he must do it in time. That is the question he has not answered. So here is our vice president. He is advanced in age, and when you reach the age he is, only very few people can enjoy excellent health. It's human biology. It's natural. It's not his own fault, right? So when you know that, what do? The best thing you can do now is to have, by this time, he should have decided, first of all, his team. Since deciding the thing about vice president is taking him this long, it's more like a difficult decision for him. Maybe he need more time to put thoughts in this. Maybe the vice president by now should have decided his team. The team now that will take out the responsibility of selling him and his messages, talking about his plans. Unity Party knows their leader is yet to put a team together. Unity Party knows their leader does not have money. So nothing is in place, and that is the fact. So the question again, is Joseph Nyuma Boakai running for president? Does he have the money? He does not have the money. Does he have a team as we speak? He does not have a team. Does he have a vice president or presidential candidate? Is he leaning somebody? We don't know yet. Who is he even going to pick? We don't even know yet. The whole burden of contesting and running for president rests on his shoulder. And he does not have anything in place to relieve him of that responsibility. He is yet to start delegating responsibilities. He talked about he does not have money, but he has friends. He has people. I'm sure there are thousands of people who are willing to work for Joe Boakai to elect him. There are a lot of people that like him out there. There are a lot of people that want to see him to be president. Why is he not delegating responsibilities to these people? Is he running for president? So the other thing, further on the issue of help, in our constitution, there is something we call the incapacitation clause. There's a clause that talks about when one becomes incapacitated, either because of health or other reasons, whoever is vice president to that person will take over the presidency. The reality is that this is not Joseph Boakai's fault. I will get old, we will get old, we will reach that age where, our body will not be strong enough. So who Boakai picks is key. Who is Boakai going to pick right now? Why has Boakai not answered that question? Why are Joseph Boakai choices as we speak? Joseph Boakai should know this firsthand, and he should have answered this question. Because, God forbid, and I don't wish the vice president any ill will of any misfortune whatsoever, it does not benefit me as a citizen. For I will reach that age, and I know my grandchildren, if I will have some by then, because my Peking is still strong, would like to see daddy around. They would like to see me around. So I can't, wish somebody such in misfortune, right? So who will Joseph Boakai trust to be president? Will it be Nyumli? Will it be Cummings? Will it be Boakai? Will it be Sarah Bessler Yanti that we're hearing about? And whoever he picks, how does that person act? And the bigger picture is Joe Boakai looking at the country. Who can he trust among whoever he's thinking about to be able to provide a transformational leadership or stewardship for our country. Who is that person? Is that person with his party? And why is it that this is taking him so long? Why? So the other thing is, if Joe Boakai is not to run for president because of poor health, maybe because he's getting exhausted, maybe if he's not going to run for president because he cannot answer the question where he will get the money from to put on a competitive presidential run, if he can't answer that question where he will get the money from, what is he going to do? Will he listen to Leymah Gbowee and call it a day or call it off and decide to retire from politics honorably? And if that is why he's also factoring in or taking into consideration, what is he telling his party? As we speak, he's still telling the party he's running for president. So the party now is just waiting and looking up to him. Now the sad thing is that the party, Unity Party, minus Joe Boakai, does not know what to do. Unity Party does not have a leadership. It's a party without leadership. It does not have a chairman who can call a meeting. As we speak, Unity Party is yet to answer, is not even willing to have the conversation that in the worst case scenario, something happens to our candidate. What do we do? Folks, this is how sad it is. And the reason we have to talk about this is, more than likely, we are not God, so we have to plan. We have to prepare. All right? More than likely, Joe Boakai may be elected president. More than likely, Joe Boakai might become a candidate. He might get on the ballot. And so we ask the question, is Unity Party prepared to have a discussion that worst case scenario, should something happen to our candidate, what do we do? Unity Party, as we speak, is not prepared to have that conversation. Why it shows is that we have a political party that wants power, but just want power just by sitting down and doing nothing, and it's not planning for any eventuality. It's not planning for the worst case scenario. This is a party that is not prepared to have serious discussion about our country. All they want is to get jobs. That's all they want. A serious party have a candidate who is having health issues right now. They are not gods. That is why they should plan. Why if this happen? What do we do as a party? Saying we want to be participant in the election. Saying they believe that they can become president again or they can win the election again. What do you do? They should be answering that question now. They should be having a conversation. The party chairman and other stalwarts should be prepared and should be of no secret that they are having the discussion. But they are not. They are not even willing, even to entertain any sort of discussion in Unity Party. It's like a suicide for them. That's how they think. It means they don't care about the country. So worst case scenario, God forbid here, Boakai gets on a ticket and out of a sudden something happens to him. Maybe he has fallen ill and he's not able to compete. What will Unity Party do? That's the time that they will be finding solution. So folks, this brings me to whether Joe Boakai, because in his thing they say Joe Boakai is about love Liberia, think Liberia, and build Liberia. So let's forget about the build. That is the difficult part. Love and think. Let's think about that. Talk about those two. Is Joe Boakai exhibiting true love for Liberia? Is he actually thinking honestly about Liberia, the country? Liberia he loves, the country that he has significantly benefited from. Is he actually seriously and consciously thinking about this country, Liberia? It is human to get old and get sick and get tired and to retire. Is he thinking consciously about Liberia? Is he prepared to show love to Liberia in a dignifying way? One way Joe Boakai can show love for Liberia is to decide that, well, I don't have money to run. Well, I may not have money now, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring somebody on the ticket who will add to me so that should anything happen to me, my country will still have somebody to lead. He should be answering the question. This is how you show your love for Liberia. If I don't have money for Liberia, what do I do? You don't have to necessarily bring a millionaire on your ticket, but who is a leader that will bring energy to your ticket? Why can't you do that now? In case the person doesn't have money. So bring the person on the ticket now. And then you start finding the money if you still want to run for this president thing here. That is how you show that love. Or if you think you can't find the money, decide to call it a day. That's another way to show the country love. That's another way to think Liberia. You can't be thinking Liberia. You don't have money. You don't have team. You don't have anybody that you are yet to decide on. We are 10 months to election. You see the CDC is positioning itself. They are decided. They have cemented their ticket. They have the national coffers in their hand. They can do whatever they want to do. And then you are still dancing kaka leka 10 months into election. And this is how you think Liberia. And this is how you love Liberia. Uncle Joe, Leymah Gbowee might have a point that Uncle Joe needs to do the right thing. But so let us get to the question of who will it benefit? In the event GMB yields to Leymah's call to retire, or in the event United Party decide to man up as a party and say, Uncle Joe, you have served well. And I think you should retire and give us the opportunity to be an alliance with another party and find somebody to lead this country. Who will benefit? Is it Tier 1 who will benefit more? That is the question for you. I'm not going to answer this one for you. Is it Cummings who's going to benefit more? If it is Cummings who will benefit more, how? How? Do the folks in Unity Party love him so much? I'm not sure that they will come to him. Or will it be Tier 1 who benefits more? Do the folks in Unity Party love Tier 1 more? Of course, I can say that with all certainty, a good number of them love him. But does it mean he's going to benefit because they love him? With the issue of money, that is a problem for their candidate, not be a problem still, or for Tier 1. So who's going to benefit? You're going to answer that one. I'm not going to answer that one for you. So let me come to Leymah Gbowee here, folks. So Leymah Gbowee, does she even have a point here? Where has she been? Is Leymah Gbowee in the right to tell somebody's grandfather, somebody's father, a political party's presidential hopeful, to retire and call it a day and do the right thing? Because when she said do the right thing, she's saying, oh man, you sick, get out of the race. That's the right thing to do. That is why she's basically telling Joseph Boakai, please don't run, Uncle Joe, you tired, you sick. Enjoy the remaining part of your life with your grandchildren. Is she in the right to say so? Is that her business? She should be the one to be deciding for Joe Boakai what Joe Boakai does? Or is it Joe Boakai family that should be having that conversation with him? The way she did it, is that the right way to even do it? We are asking serious questions or doing analysis with questions. Could she have gone to Joseph Boakai's wife, Joseph Boakai's children, saying she is a leader in our country and that she is a Nobel Peace Prize winner of our country? People have respect for her. Could she have gone to Joseph Boakai's family, call Joseph Boakai's children, sit with Joe Boakai's a wife and say, hey, I mean, this is a decision your family have to make. I see him as my uncle. I'm a leader in this country. I care about this country, but I have concerns about his health. But it can't be me to make that decision. This has to be a family decision. But this is, if you ask me for my suggestion, this would be my suggestion. And I want to ask you to really communicate this to Joseph Boakai. I think it would be best. I mean, could she have done it that way? Could that have been the better way to do it? The manner in which she did it by going public, writing a letter. She wrote an open letter to the whole public. This is what Joe Boakai should do. Would that be any reason for Joe Boakai to resent the communication or of her plea here? Joe Boakai might be thinking there, but maybe because she said that, now Joseph Boakai said, well, I'm not going to do it. Why would Leymah want to, almost like embarrass me in the public like this? Would Joe Boakai listen to the 2011 Nobel Peace Prize winner of Liberia? Does Joe Boakai, does he have a history of listening to Nobel Peace Prize winner? The answer is no. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Leymah Gbowee and one other lady won the Nobel Peace Prize of 2011. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is on record. This is not they say. This is something I have unique memory of. It was a radio interview when Ellen Johnson said Joseph Boakai and myself going to retire honorably and turn this thing over to the young people. Joseph Boakai knows. Ellen communicated with Joe Boakai and told Joe Boakai, let us leave the scene with the young people. Joe Boakai said, no, it's not your decision. You can't decide for me what to do. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is a Nobel Peace Prize winner. Joseph Boakai said no to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's suggestion and appeal. So why would Joseph Boakai want to listen to Leymah Gbowee now? In fact, Joseph Boakai is in the conversation of presidency today because of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf chose Boakai and made Joe Boakai vice president for 12 years. And yet Joe Boakai, despite Ellen Johnson Sirleaf being, his boss, said, no, I will not listen to you. I will run for president. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was a Nobel Peace Prize winner too. Boakai did not listen to the Nobel Peace Prize winner who was a president and Joe Boakai's boss. Joe Boakai said, no, I will run for president. Why should we believe now that Joe Boakai will listen to Leymah Gbowee, more so when Leymah Gbowee has done this thing publicly? She said this man is her uncle. She could have gone to this uncle. Did she even visit the uncle when the uncle was in hospital? We don't know the answer. She may have not. I don't know. My research did not tell me that. But was that an opportunity? If she actually wanted to say this, could she have visited if she did not? Joe Boakai in the hospital or the family home after he returned from the 1 week he spent at the hospital? And she would have had serious conversation with JMB and JMB's family. Would that have been the best way to do it? And that would have made Joseph Boakai to say, well, we were listening, or maybe Joe Boakai's wife to prevail on Joe Boakai. And to all of you listening, say, well, why are you doing all this, man? The old man is running for president. So, folks, I will stop this file, and I will conclude by opening the phone lines for you to participate here. And when you call, I want to know, is Leymah Gbowee making the right call here by asking Joe Boakai to retire and do the right thing, and also admonishing the party to form partnership with other political parties to decide the future of Liberia? Is she right to say Joseph Boakai is old and he should retire and spend the rest of his life interacting with his grandchildren? Does she have a point here that Joseph Boakai should think about the future of Liberia, should think about national development? In essence, she's saying Joe Boakai does not have what it takes to be president right now because he said. That's why she's saying. Does she have a point? Now, Joe Boakai, because He does not have money. The fact we learned, it was reported according to the chaplain of the legislature. I think he's actually for the Senate. In the opening today at the legislature, the sixth sitting of the legislature, this man called himself a man of God. And he went on to say that Joe Boakai, he had a revelation. I don't believe in revelation, by the way. And his name is Reverend Michael Holders. Reverend Michael Holder is saying he had revelation so many times. God spoke to him and told him that Joe Boakai will not be president. I don't believe his revelation. The reason I'm bringing this thing up, he said that it was Joel Howard Taylor, the current vice president of George Manawia in our country, paid Joseph Boakai medical bill at ELWA Hospital. The recent hospitalization of Joseph Nyuma Boakai. According to the chaplain, Michael Holder, Reverend Michael Holder, he said it was Joel Howard Taylor who paid for the medical bills of Joe Boakai. It could mean that Joe Boakai actually does not have money. It's another confirmation. This is not anything hidden. If he can't pay for your own medical bill, if family members can't pay for it, maybe they can afford, maybe Joel Howard Taylor volunteer. Now, that is in addition to the previous noise that CDC or the government tried to outlive Joseph Boakai because they wanted him to get good care, and he did not give, Joseph Boakai turned it down because the CDC wanted that to be known to the public that it is the government that have airlifted Joseph Boakai to see medical care when he was sick, and Joseph Boakai said, no, I don't want it. That is the allegation that, that was what was made known, but it was confirmed by a surrogate, not a surrogate, somebody who considered himself a friend of President Weah. He said President Weah told him that. And the CDC has not denied that they actually had that conversation. So because Joseph Boakai turned it down, they could not show up the hospital bill. So how now, and this man is saying, Joel Howard Taylor pay? So then the bigger picture now, before I open the phone lines here for you to contribute, is what is this thing? This is the bigger picture. What is this thing in Liberia that when government official is ill, they should be taken out of the hospital? Joseph Boakai is a Liberian. Joel Howard Taylor is a Liberian. Samuel Twe is a Liberian. Mambutu was a Liberian. May his soul rest in peace. When the government officials fall sick, they want to use our country money to take them out of the country. Why is it that they cannot, give us health care in our country so that these people can stay in the country? Why are they always taking them out of the country? We all equally own the country. They already have this privilege and opportunity of serving in government, getting free cars, free everything, and the biggest salary of all. And then they are the one who can actually afford their medical bill. Now they have to take out of the country. But when Yakwa Wuro, who is a sweeper at Ministry of Finance, is saying no one takes him out of the country. When the poor teacher at MCSS, who is protesting for his pay, is saying no one takes him out of the country. When Sister Musu, who is a nurse at JFK, is sick, no one takes her out of the country. She has been protesting for her pay. Her pay is not even on time. She said they will not even take her out of the country. They say, well, we have not paid her, so let her take her out of the country. It does not happen. But when it is Joe Boakai, when it is Joel Howard Taylor, when it is Samuel Twe, when it is any other government official, our government wants to take such person out of the country. So this is a bigger picture we have to look at. So it begs the question, what health care the Unity Party leave with us? What health care is this current government providing for our people? How much money are they spending for our hospitals? So the reason for having health care is to provide care when one is sick. I will leave it. And I will give you the opportunity to say your own. Don't go anywhere. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we will be taking your phone calls after this very, very short break. All right, folks, we are back with you. We got the phone line all set up for you to call and participate. I think a good number of you should know what the phone line, the phone number is, and the access code as well. Let me put it right here for you. It's on the screen there. We want you to call and participate. We also going to pin that phone line. We're going to post it on Facebook for you to see it also. It's posted in the Facebook live feed. If you want to call, the opportunity is yours to call and participate. Does Leymah Gbowee have a point that Joseph Boakai should retire because he's sick and because he needs to rest? What do you think? What do you think? Is that the right thing to do, as she said? We want to hear from you. Call, and we will take your phone call, and we would like to hear from you. So while we wait for calls, we have some advertisement here quickly. While we wait for those who want to call, let me bring in some short, brief advertisement here quickly. Folks, in cyberspace, we want to let you know, Focus on Liberia is raising fund. The most talk about election year is this year, and Focus on Liberia want to be there to bring you all the happenings as they will be happening in the country Liberia. And so we have launched a fundraising program so as to increase our operations in Liberia and hire more staff to report for us from the counties. We are saying to you, please chip in 5, 10, 11 bucks, 20 bucks, just any amount you can afford. We will appreciate it. And if you want to donate, the information is on the screen there. We have our Zelle and Cash App number. It's just one number for both Zelle and Cash App. The numbers is on the screen there. And you can, Zelle in your 10 bucks, 15 bucks, 20 bucks, whatever you can afford, and Focus on Liberia. We definitely appreciate that. And we also want to advertise that a dear sister, this is Keller Vincent, is a travel advisor. If you have travel plans and you don't know how to plan better to wherever you want to travel, Keller Vincent is the one to contact. She's a travel advisor. She will help to plan better for you. You can contact her. The information is on the screen below. This information will also be posted on our Facebook page. Keller Vincent is the one to contact if you need some advice when it comes to traveling. Maybe you're taking your family somewhere and you don't know all the complications. She will make it very, very simple for you. She will give you one-on-one personalized service and stress-free plan, so you want to contact her right away. Next Monday, Focus on Liberia is throwing the spotlight on Pastor Mandia, Philin Brunskin. She's a Liberian gospel music minister. She will be here and have a sit down with me here at Focus on Liberia Spotlight. Her name is also Prophetess Miracle. She will be there. She'll be telling her story and her songs. You do not want to miss it. At this time, we'll go to the phone line to see if we have folks there willing to participate. I see a caller here ready to roll. Your phone number ends in 6908. Your name and where you're joining us from.
Oh, this is Trevor Jeepley.
Okay.
I'm calling from Canada.
All right. Welcome to the broadcast. It's good to have you. I'm sure you have been following. What do you make of the discussion? You think Leymah Gbowee has a point here, or she's completely wrong, and Joseph Boakai has all right to contest? Anybody can be sick, right? Well, what do you think? What's your take?
My position on the issue is that Leymah Gbowee is a moral authority in the country, given the fact that she's a Nobel laureate, a Nobel Peace laureate. I think her open letter was very, very eye-opening, and will give the Unity Party people concerns to think about the future of their party and Nyuma Boakai. I think your points were very well expressed, and I think, given the very critical questions you ask, I think in any eventuality in which Nyuma Boakai leaves this race, Comrade Tyrone Say Gonglo absolutely would be the next president of this country.
All right. So you are not saying he should leave and listen to Leymah's call, but you are saying that is his decision, and that when he does, Tiawan will be the one to benefit. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
Absolutely, but her call also is, I think, personally as a Liberian citizen, is in the right direction. I've seen the pictures. I know the Unity Party people try to put a great face on this. I think Nyuma Boakai is not ready to lead this country. And I have not attacked him. We ourselves, being political commentators in the country, we have not attacked Nyuma Boakai anytime in the past. But I think that he should heed the calls of people who are calling him to not run. Because I don't think it's safe to lead the country. And I say this with utmost respect.
All right. Thank you for your take. We appreciate your call. Let us go back to the phone line again to take another person there. That is the man, Elvis Morris. Mr. Morris, let us hear you. You heard the questions.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sear. You know, I think the last caller put it very well, more pleasant than probably I would put it. The reality is, let's just look back for a second. Pick somebody like Charles Bronson, who actually had been in political life longer than JMB. JMB was a minister, you know, and other directors and things like that, but he wasn't a politician, quote unquote. And Bronson had pretty much lived the better half of his life being a politician. He was senator for Grand Bassa, rose to the Senate pro tem. So this is a man who had been chasing that office for a very long time. And unfortunately, he passed away without ever getting to, fulfill that dream of his. So Boakai has only been in political, life for maybe let's say the last 20 years or so, since 2012. Since Ellen Johnson years when he served the 12 years plus another 6 or so. So looking at 18, 19 years, which is in essence a long time, but not as long as other politicians who never got to the presidency. So when some of us are saying he should retire and he's sickly, he's old, we're not saying this because obviously some people will say, oh, it's probably politically driven, or probably for CDC or some other party. But we saw that picture, Mr. Sear. I mean, I hate to say it, the man's wife was right next to him, somebody he's known for better half of his life, and he seemed absent-minded. He wasn't, he was just standing there kind of looking into space. So how can the Unity Party do this to this old man? They're being heartless. They're not caring about his family. They're just putting him there as a figurehead and want him to be president, pretty much in a ceremonious role, while somebody behind the screen, behind the scene can be controlling that government, who would probably not be elected. So this is going to be unfair to the man's family and unfair to the Liberian people to push somebody on the people who is beloved by many, but it's unwell.
Mr. Everett Morris. Mr. Everett Morris. I think it would be unfair to Unity Party. I'm not sure any party can force anybody to become a standard bearer or maybe a candidate for that party. It is one's decision. It was Joseph Boakai who made a decision that he wants to be president of his party, sought his party's blessing, and the party gave it to him. So to think that it is Unity Party that is forcing him, I'm not sure is fair here. This is Boakai's decision. If Boakai says he doesn't want to run for president, I'm not sure Unity Party can force him if he really means that, right? So it's not Unity Party here. Unity Party is only supporting somebody who expressed to them that he wants to be president, and they agree, isn't it?
Let me use this analogy, Mr. Sear, and maybe it's not appropriate, but say you're in a household, you know your father, he's been working, he's He's getting old, but the old man has this, this pride, this dedication to his family. He wants to take care of him. And you are his son. Maybe you're getting into your 15 years, 16, 17 years, and looking at your father, he's breaking down, the work is becoming harder and harder for him. Will you and let's say your brother or your mom step in and say, "Oh, Pa, you can, oh, please, even if I have to go out there and work and help support the family, I will do it, but I know you want to help us, but the help is more important to us." People have to step in and say, "Chief, we know you want to do this, you want to serve the country, but please, we care more about you than the presidency." So people got to step in for the more good of his family and for the country as a whole. A lot of people in United Party see the man is not well, but they want political power. So they won't go and tell him, JMB, you need to rest. You need to step aside, because that's the only political, vehicle to power. So for me, I say all the time on this show, and sometimes it's maybe politically driven, maybe it's because of some of the things that he said in the past. But looking at those pictures, myself, I was sad. I was sad for the old man. And it's nothing against him. Doesn't make him weak. It's just old age and bad health. And these things sometimes they correlate. So we can't just say that because it's, politics, we shouldn't call for him to step aside. I mean, it's a you say you can see it. You're an analyst. Maybe you don't want to take sides, but sometimes you got to be objective. We all want him to step aside. I think it's what's best for his family. Maybe in the next, 9 months, he can become very healthy and, rejuvenated. We don't know that. But right now, it seems he's very much unwell. That's all I have to say.
All right.
And I look forward to hearing your analysis. Thank you.
Thank you, Maurice. We will go to the comment section here quickly. Sam Waller writes, one who have hope that this Nobel Peace Prize winner who has fought for gender equality would know better than to engage in age discrimination. Sad. Sam Waller, I disagree with you. It's not age discrimination. Joseph Boakai have shown sign of illness, and that is the reason. Anybody can be ill. I don't think she is engaging in age discrimination. That is her take, but that is your take as well. VP Boakai is running, and he trusts the Liberian people to choose their next president. Sam Water, and I agree with you. He has a right to run and let the Liberian people decide. Comrade Jipley Chepo, yes, Sam Wolo, she cited health, not age. That is correct. It was health, not age. Sam Wolo, again, the fact that VP Boakai place his medical care in the hands of Liberian healthcare professionals should speak volumes. Sam Wallo is making a salient point that JMB said that Liberians should be able to trust their health facility and their health professionals. Does he have a point there? And I think it makes sense. I know why when they say they're running out of the country. But we should also maintain, if they're using their own money to go out of the country, no fault at all. But if you are a government official and you did not provide or create a better healthcare system, and because you now have money, you're running away, then we have all reasons to question it. But if it is your private money, you can decide wherever you go to seek help. So, Sam, I agree with you. If the president is sick, if the vice president is sick, finance minister, whoever, government officials sick, let us stay in the country. The government has provided health care for us, they think. So let us use it, right? But they leave that and go somewhere else. So for Joe Boakai to have done that, but let us also, did Joe Boakai do that because he didn't have money? It could be true that because he does not have the money, maybe he didn't have money and there was no time enough to plan to leave this country. Because they were more than willing to accept the offer from the CDC, as the CDC stated, to have taken him out of the country. They were open to that, but later on he said, no, we don't want it. So I don't think Joseph Boakai had that many options. It could be more so he didn't have that many options. Maybe he didn't have money, so he said, well, I have to stay here. But that does not take away the fact that, he used our health facility, and so he has all reason to make that point, which I think makes sense. Sam Wallow again, that's called distinction without a difference. Reasonable people see through it. They are having an argument here. Let me see. Powerhouse, right? It saddens to see these young folks around Joseph Boakai pushing the man to run. the man is not qualified health-wise to work again. Let them start. Well, are you the doctor to say he's not qualified health-wise? But that is her take, and I don't think these people are pushing him. Joe Boakai wants to be president. If Joe Boakai says he's not running for president, I don't think those who are around him will force him. They won't force him. Earlier from the man Houston C. Brooks here, I will never be fooled. Joe Boakai is a millionaire. He has hidden stolen money from his 40 years of public service. Whoa. Brooks, Joe Boakai is a millionaire? Where are you getting your facts from, man? And that he has hidden stolen money from his 40 years? Bro, this is wide enough. I don't know. I should continue reading your comments here. He is playing poor and is stuck between a rock and a hard place, because since he has been crying that he doesn't have money, he cannot use his personal money to fund his campaign, or as people will ask him where he got the money from. Liberia is an interesting place. That's the man. Let's hear from Saki White here. There is Boakai tag team. Maybe where is Boakai tag team? There is Boakai tag team and active. Where is Boakai tag team? And is it active? I think that person is saying Boakai tag team. I don't know where the tag team is. The tag team people, they're trying to hustle to pay their own rent. Maybe he's not qualified on all levels. Periods. Houston Brooks is not. It's not sugarcoating this thing here. Jipley here writes, Ambassador Boakai will do the right thing. He lived and has served Liberia. Gonglo endorsed Boakai in 2017. We call on the old man to do the right thing. All right. Let me read more comments here. Let's hear from Jefferson Doye. You are making huge sense here, but whatever the case may be, Cummings is the next president. Cummings is the next president? That person said Cummings is the next president. Well, we'll wait and see. Cummings does not have the support of the Liberian people. Stop daydreaming, man. Someone writes. Let's hear from Sam Wallow here. Boakai Gonglo is the strongest opposition ticket, gains the most votes in round 1 and wins in a landslide in round 2. All right, that is what Sam Wallow is saying. He said that is the dream ticket. They will gain more votes in the first round. Round 2 will be a landslide. Uncle Joe, if you are listening, Sam Wallow got some political meat for you to chew on. Let's hear from Charlie Dunbar. What's wrong with her writing an open letter? No embarrassment here. It is plain as day, my dear. So she's making the point there that there's no embarrassment here. The woman has a right to write open letter. That's a right. After all, Joseph Boakai is a politician, right? It's a popular official. Anybody can write about him in an open space. I was only asking question. Could there have been a better way? Could she have gone to the family to have a conversation with them? But she chose to write open letter, and that is her right. I was just asking questions, and that's my thing, right? I ask questions. That's what I do here. Let's hear from Sam Waller again. No vice president or any other former official should be paying for their hospital bill out of pocket. That should be a benefit provided for former leaders. Sam Waller, you really believe so? Sam Waller, do you really believe so? You are a smart man saying this kind of thing. The people work in government, they retire. Even in their retirement, we must pay for their health care. Poor country like Liberia. The last time I checked, when you look at the pension law of Liberia, there's money set aside for most of the public officials who have retired. Money they collect on a monthly basis that they're supposed to use for their health care and their upkeep, everything. And then say, well, you believe that when they say we should still be taking care of them? Will we take care of the teacher when the teacher is sick? Will we take care of the nurse when the nurse is sick? Will we take care of the civil servant when they're sick? Say, well, do you really believe that they are superhumans? They are better than other people just because they have the fattiest job and they have all the cars, so we should be. I mean, how do you say this thing, man? You should be talking about us having a healthcare plan that benefits or that everybody contributes to. Or if everybody can contribute to it, the government can put money into it. And you are saying these people should be entitled to healthcare because they serve as president and vice president? Is that what you really believe we should do in our country? Do you know how many persons will be fighting to be vice president now? This is the same thing with the legislature. Everybody want to be a lawmaker now. because of the fabulous salary, free cars these people are getting, and the pension benefit, non-contributory pension benefit. They don't contribute a penny to it, but they get several thousands when they even retire. And they will continue to enjoy that money. When they die, it passes on to their widow. Sam Waller, is that what you believe? A poor country like Liberia. Oh, Sam, you can do better, man. Oh, Sam, you can do better, my man. Anthony, who's take care of the former official of the country who you live in today? He's asking me who is taking care of Obama and these other people who taking care of that. Their pension taking care of them. Pension taking care of them. That is my answer. All right. That is how we will come to close now with this edition of the Hour of Politics. Folks, thanks for watching. Until we catch you again, the sun that takes us home is always we are all Liberians. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the sun. We are all Liberians. And folks, bye-bye.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our